Hello there, it's me again, and thank you all for giving me the time to view this video. And I'd just like to explain a few things about what my channel is about. Now, what it is about, I go on, it's about anxiety and dealing with anxiety, quite obviously. That's one of the main topics. It means dearly to me. I do this to, what would you call it? Confront my anxiety, because it's like a social anxiety I've got. So you can't get more social than this, can you? And that's what I'm trying to do. Speaking into a screen makes me feel better. And but what I do is I bring up the things that make me anxiety, like, pops me off, and that's usually to do with the news, all the depressing mainstream narratives and all that. And what I try to do is try to put it in my perspective. I look at I look at fellow YouTubers, and I grab a lot of inspiration off a few people, to be honest with you. I mean, there's the Watchman. I love him, totally adore him. I think he's brilliant. There's TR. He's a great man. Me and him have had to don't see eye to eye on some things, but he's a great guy. I mean, Mr. Tufts, well, what can I say about Mr. Tufts? I mean, that geezer has Mr. Motivation to me, and I love them all dearly for it. But what I do is I listen to them intensely, because they put it into a perspective where it's wow. The mainstream media do lie to us, and they lie to us big time. And if you go down that rabbit hole with that, it could make you really dark. So that's why, excuse me, that's why I bring it up. Now, as I say, this channel is what motivates me, or what motivates you. Right? Now, what motivates me is doing these videos. I'm doing YouTube. I flung myself into X, and I do voluntary work, and it all makes me feel better. I give advice to people that need it and have asked for it. I try to do a little bit. I've been ranting and raving about the OAPs and the way they've been treated by the Stasi government, right? And well, that just sickens me to no ends, and the way our veterans get treated, and also with these unvetted males coming in, it scares the life out of me. I'm scared for our working class people. I know. I'm a working class lad, right? I got dragged up in Tottenham, right? It's as simple as that. I don't want to play no violins on it. You know what I mean? My mum and my stepdad, they've done their best for me. That's fine. You know what I mean? It's but I've seen things change, and I saw it slowly changing in Tottenham in the 80s, and it was kind of nasty, where it was like we were the minority and we were started on, and we had no rights, and that was a Labour government. Hence why I speak so nasty of them, especially Lammy. I mean, who is he? I mean, he to me, he's nothing but a race baiter. He's nasty. But that's why I go on about that. So, you've got to excuse me for that. I also take, people give me ideas on how I can deal with my anxieties. And do you know what? When you're helping people and you're all helping each other, you sort of forget that you're suffering, if you know what I mean. It's a strange, nutty little thing, but that's the strangest thing with anxieties. I mean, one of my eldest daughters suffered from it when she first started a job, and I drove her around for a few weeks while she was at work, and it made me forget about me, right? And I stepped up to be the dad that I should be, and doing that for her made me, I felt brand new for it. And thankfully, my little darling, she's got over it, and it was just, she calls it an early midlife crisis, and she laughs it off now. And I'm so proud of her. I mean, words could never explain how I feel. I love her for it, and she's an inspiration to me. But I've got a car coming down here. I've got to move into the bushes. It's not like I'm going to jump out on anyone. Uh, oh, there's a load of sheepy. But yeah, that's what. So that's what this channel is. So what motivates me is to talk about the politics, talk about this totally outrageous. We've got this unvetted males coming in, right? They're causing havoc. I mean, the crime statistics are off the charts. Now, I invite the government, please, release the truth. Let everyone know the truth and who voted on this and who allowed it. Now, it's extremely worrying. I mean, when is it going to stop? I mean, we can't carry on like this, and the money's going to run out soon. I mean, they've just shut down Port Talbot, whatever the steel works down there. I mean, that was another foreign company that came in, right? Now, yes, it was a foreign company, but why couldn't we have nationalised it, right? And used British steel, right? And instead of importing all this cheap substandard steel, why can't we make our own British steel? And if, just like that Trumpy did, if you want to import it, you've got to pay a higher tariff. It's as simple as that. You know, and start using your own and employing our own. Now, for me to think like that, and for me to put that out there, it seems that I get branded this made up word of right wing, right? No, it doesn't mean right wing. What happened is, right, and this is what happens with most of the companies, they get bought up by like hedge funds, and what they do, they asset strip. They totally strip it. They strip it of everything they can, and then they try to sell it again, right? Or the rest of it goes into a liquidation, and that's it, finished. I mean, it happened with the British Home Stores, with your Woolworths, you know, with your steel. Now, Tata Steel, they're going to open another furnace in how many years? What, another 6 years? 2018 or 2020? I might be wrong. Well, I'm sure I'm wrong on that, so I stand to be corrected. But it's going to be a green one. I mean, what happens to all the local businesses around that place? Right, the knock-on effect, right? The local cafes, the local communities. What's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. It's going to get so run down, right? Drugs are going to become rife, okay? They're going to fill it with all these illegal immigrants, okay? They're going to fill it. And then quite obviously, once again, our children, right, will become game. They will come game for these guys. These guys commit horrendous crimes, and they get away with it. Right? There was some fella on there yesterday, the YouTuber. I've actually got a lot of time for him, you know what I mean? He's had a dragged up as well and a shite upbringing, and he went and investigated somewhere not too far away from me, actually. And, you know, some poor young lass got put through an ordeal. But that bloke didn't get remanded, no. He got bailed. Right, he got bailed back to his hotel, where we, the tax-paying public, are paying for this. Now, I'm not being funny. If that was any other Joe, well, I'm sorry. I don't care who you should be or would be. But if that was anyone that commits such a horrific crime like that, right, should be remanded straight away. Now, they can find all these spaces, right, for all the so-called right wing, and that word doesn't exist really, right? I mean, the last thing I saw right wing was, to be honest, when I was a kid, and I think it was the NF, wasn't it? Yeah, the National Front. Well, I'll tell you what, that was in the late 70s, and I don't think they were much after that. I mean, Jesus Christ, I think they got kicking and that, because we're not like that as a people, and actually it's quite offensive. But all British whites and blacks, British Irish, British Scottish, British Welsh, you know, British everything, right? British Indian, British. Well, I mean, we're one like, you know, one multicultural pot. We always have been, right? It's insulting to us to call us right wingers, right? it's a made-up crap word, and all that sort of does is fit into a narrative, so they could just shut you down. It's a load of shite. Right? I'm sorry about my bad word there, but it is. It's terrible stuff. And then this Islamophobia. No. That doesn't even exist. I mean, where did that come from? That's a made-up word by the left once again. To, just to demonise people that are, getting a bit of courage to say, no, this is what is happening. Now, I've got Muslim mates. I've got Muslim mates, I've got black, I feel like I'm like a bit of a moob sort of saying this sort of stuff, but, they're not all like that. There's a lot of, no, I'm not going to give no names away, but I've got a lot of pals that follow the Muslim faith, and you can ask my cousin this, Dal, because you'll see him from time to time, right? And I mean, we go out drinking together, yeah. I mean, they're not supposed to, but they like a drink, and we have a good chinwag, and we have a good laugh. And do you know what? Some of the best nights I've had have been with these guys. I mean, we've had afters, we've been chin-wagging, talking about climate change in kitchens, talking total waffle all night long, you know what I mean? You know how it is, right? And there's nothing like that. And there's nothing like that with my black mates. I mean, my daughters, okay, my best black pal, I love him, right? Literally, he's my man, right? His children, right, refer to me as Uncle Lee, right? And I love his kids. I love his boys. I know his elder daughters. I love them all. Right? I put my life in front to save them. Now my daughters, right? They refer to him as Uncle, right? Now he's their Uncle O. You know what I mean? I'm not going to give his full name off, of course, because he'd give me a slap, right? But I mean, me and then we've grown up, we've been around, we've been best mates for, 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? And I've got other friends that, that I grew up at school with. They were black, they were Asian, they were Chinese, Maltese. I mean, where I went to school in North London, Tommy Moore, right? It was just one massive, everyone. And there was never any problems. Man, we all used to get in trouble together. We used to, I always remember as a kid, we'd all be walking home, and it would be literally, right, all right, Trev, right, I'm in to get the beats, because we all knew that there's been a phone call given over to our parents, and your mum would be waiting indoor to give you a backhander, right? And you'd be like, I'll go in and get my beats, you know what I mean? And you actually felt sorry for the Caribbean lads whose mums are from the Caribbean, man, because they did get beats, right? And that was a fact, right? Their beats were a lot different to our beats, right? But we all grew up, we all done things together, and then you know what? We all got married. Some got married to black girls, some got married to white girls, so vice versa. You know what I mean? Some got married to men on men, I don't know. It's everyone to their own, isn't it? Who cares, right? So all this hate out here and saying that people like myself are all about hate. No, we're not. We're about discussing today's topics, what gets on our nut, what makes us anxious and scared. And what makes us anxious and scared is the fault of all the OAPs this winter going without the fuel allowance. Now, I've got a suspicion, hopefully I might be right, but I think there's been such a backlash, and especially with all this, all the perks that they're receiving and that, it's gone a bit beyond the pale now, and I think it's like, I think there might be a bit of a reverse on that, right? So hopefully I'm right. I mean, if that's so, thank God for them. I mean, because it does, every little bit helps. And why are we doing this? Why are we persecuting the older generations? The ones that brought us up, the ones that done everything to make life a little bit easier for us. Why are we treating them like this? Because we're next, and then it's our kids, and then it just goes on. And it's quite worrying. So we've got to stop. We've got to nip all this two-tier policing. We've got to nip all of this two-tier legal system and this corrupt political parties all in the bud. They've all got to be stopped. I don't know how. I mean, if anyone's got any ideas, it'd be wonderful to put it out there. I mean, if we could find a cure for this, it'd be magical, wouldn't it? I think there'd be more chance of us winning the lottery. But people have had enough. And I think on the 26th, you're going to see a big out. No trouble, because that's not what people. This is not what British people and British patriotic movements about. Yeah, we're patriots. Right? What's wrong with being patriotic about your country and your flag? Nothing, right? But that doesn't make us all, like, as certain characters would say, like, tattooed thugs. You know what I mean? No, it doesn't. Right? It just means we love our country and we love our flag, and we should be flying our flag loud and proud. Right? The Union flag, right? The Welsh flag, the Scottish flag, the Irish flag, right? You fly it loud, right? The St George's flag, fly it loud. But no, you put that up and you're arrested. But then I see guys coming in from where they started on now. Was it Lebanon? Now the Israelis, and they're waiting on the airports, and they're flying all these terrorist flags. Right? No, we don't want that here. Now these people, right, they never claimed asylum here. Right? They get dual citizenship. Okay, and what they do, and this is what the majority of them do. Right? They get that, and they go through our soft immigration system, right? It's already set out. It's all geared up for them, not for people like me or you. It's it's geared up for them, right? And what they do, they come here, the majority of them, and then they get all their benefits, and they go on and they're sick, and they get all paid into their accounts, right? And then what they do, they go back home, and they build houses. They live like kings on our banknote. And that is a fact. And the only time they really come back is, one, if they've got to turn up for something, i.e. a medical or anything. But it's usually the British with a British name that will get picked out for that, because it's easier, right? Then, or when they need to use the national health system. Now, I've been in the national health system. I lost my best mate. Right, it's going to be 9 years this December the 16th. I lost him to cancer. I used to sit in waiting rooms with him all through his chemo and his radiotherapy. The amount of translators in there, right? It was off its nut. How much are they costing? I mean, it's like, whoa. And I got speaking to a young guy, a Polish lad, and I really, really don't blame him. I don't blame him, right? But I got chatting to him because his mum was with him, and we got talking over. You do. It was like 6 weeks every day. The boy had to do it, and it was the same time as his mum. And we used to wait. I mean, we used to chat, and he was a lovely fella. But he told me, this is a fact. He told me that his mum lived in Poland, right? But unfortunately, she got diagnosed with that nastiness, right? And she wasn't able to access the treatment there, right? Now, I don't blame that boy for doing what he did, because I think anyone in the right mind would have done it, right? And I would have done the same, right? But he saw the opportunity, so he brought her over, okay? He brought her over, and she got all this treatment, you know what I mean? And God bless, I hope, please Lord, that she survived. But you can't blame him, but that was made possible because of our shortcomings, where if I wanted to go to Spain, for instance, or you go to Spain, right, and you go to Spain, and I've had it before, you know, you fall off a moped, right? That's what happened to me. I needed stitches. Now, I remember going in there, and it was a long time ago, but I remember going in there. I was a silly young man, but I remember going in there, and before they'd even touch me, right, I had to prove that I was insured, and then I also had to pay, right? Now, why can't we do the same? I mean, if people want to come and use the system, pay for the system. You get insured and you pay, right? Just like we have to any other country. It's only fair. Why should our national health system become everyone else's national health system? I mean, that's not right. I know another fella, man. This boy, I love him. Total gooner, right? Now he's out of the Dominic. He's out of one of the Caribbean islands. I can't say it, okay, because of my stutter and that. And his father, he lived here with Danny. He's actually emigrated back because he had enough of the country, to be honest. But his dad, bless him, right? His old man needed a heart bypass, and he couldn't get it where he was. So what he did, he brought him over, put him at his address, okay, got him registered here, right? He claimed asylum, he went straight on the National Health, and he got the operation done. Now, I don't blame my mate for doing that, because, I mean, well done you, to be honest, I would have done the same. But it was made possible because of the loopholes. Now, when his father should have, bless him, got insured up, come over as a holiday visit, and then maybe got diagnosed with it there, and then it all got paid for by the insurance. I'm sure there's other ways around it, you know what I mean? But if we've got the technology, there's help. There was another guy I spoke to a few years ago, and he was an American fella, lovely fella. He's quite a personality, actually, but no names. But his wife, she was a Scottish lass, and he come over here, and one of their children were born, and his wife started moaning, like going, "Oh, the treatment was bad, the treatments was this." And he turned around to her. Now, we're talking many years ago now, a couple of decades, this is my age. But as he said, listen, darling, you know, not meaning to patronise her, but you know what the Americans are like. He said, that is a $30,000 baby, right? So you think yourself very lucky, and let's just keep on cracking on. Great job. You know, so that's how easy it is, right? To just abuse the system. Now, these young guys that are unvetted and they're coming into the hotels, we're paying for them to be put up in the hotels. We're not being asked. All right? We want this to go to a public vote, right? Because we say no, right? Now, as I said, on the 26th, there's going to be, I feel, there's going to be a massive turnout, to be honest, because I think every man and their dog and every gran and their cat, right, or dog, or hippopotamus, whatever you like, right, has had enough. I think every race, religion and creed has had enough. Every moderate Muslim has had enough. I mean, all we're getting over here is all we're accepting on this illegal immigration path is people that really don't want to, you know, drop in with us. They don't want to get on and work in the factories. They don't want to work alongside the Brits. They just want to, they get grants for shops. They just open the shops. They keep themselves to themselves. They peddle drugs. And the majority of their shops are fronts. I mean, I'll take you to, I'll do a recording tomorrow, okay? Because I'm going through the Glasgow tomorrow. And I'll stop off at a market town, okay? Now, I usually get my hair done, believe it or not, right? And have a shave up with one of my Turkish barbers there. I love him. He's been there for donkey's years, right? He's married to a lovely Scottish lass. And funny enough, when I got talking to him, and we started, you know, getting to know each other and that, right? He's the most loveliest geezer you could ever meet, right? And we have a lot to discuss. And when he's got a cutthroat to your chin, you've got to be careful with what you say. But he's perfect, and he explained so much to me. But it transpires, he fled the same part of London than me, that I did, Green Lanes in North London. It is a total pit. And he is a Turkish fella, and he come up here, and you know, and he's got 2 beautiful daughters himself, you know, and he's a Muslim. He doesn't like his girls to eat ham. That's what he said. He eat the pork or whatever it is, but he doesn't force it on them. You know what I mean? It ain't on them. Right? He's actually a very law-abiding, nice guy, a law-abiding citizen. Now, it's a certain type of Muslim. I think Waggy or whatever they're called. I can't pronounce it correctly, but you know me, guys. I have trouble pronouncing my name. So That's the sheep thing back again. I don't know, I thought he was going to put me in the back there. But yeah, so these guys come over and all they want to do is put change on us and cause us problems and not integrate and just preach hate. We don't want that. And who voted to allow these people in? I mean, that's why you've got Egypt and countries like that. They won't. They've got the big... I mean, Israel's having this kick-off and they've got the big walls there. Big walls, yeah, the walls. Right? Nothing said about their walls, but Mr. Trump says it. President Trump-elect, I should say. He's got to be the next president. But when he mentions the wall, it's not... But you know what? That's what they do to keep them out. And one of their top religious or royalty men actually said, you're going to notice, he goes, in years to come, that the majority of terrorist attacks, all the crime, all the stuff that comes with this certain sect of Muslims is going to be coming out of Europe. And you know what? That man was so right. Check it out on YouTube. So, I mean, on the 26th, there's going to be a big turnout. I'm certain of it. And I hope there is. I hope there is, right? Because I'd like to see it for the Watchman, for TR as well, right? And maybe if there's enough boots on the ground and peacefully, quite obviously peacefully, because we've got a box very clever with what we do. But if there's enough boots on the ground and enough, because with Tommy, you've got to be careful with Tommy. He will record. He will keep recording everyone, and if they touch him, well, God help him, because it's just going to be, it's a criminal act. It'd be wrong for the rest, and it'd be so obvious. I'm sure he could press charges against them and make claims. I'm certain of that. But as I said, I think you're going to see millions of people, but then you're going to see the other half. And that's going to be the guys with the face coverings, where they put thousands of placards that would be all there waiting. And who's funding these guys? Right? And they'll all be there, and they'll all be waiting for these, the great unwashed, the university types, that just go into one and they've got like cult status, right? And they're all covering their faces, and the police do nothing. But the minute a British patriot under the Union flag, right, that the police are sworn to, that is their flag, right? So one of them just looks at the police dog the wrong way. They're getting it. Right, they're steaming, they'll be there on their batons, they'll be there with their riot shielding, they'll be intimidating, they'll be hissing at you. And you know what, guys, just do not take the bait, right? It's really not worth taking the bait. Okay, so please, I would ask everyone to refrain from any form of violence, even down to the peeing, right? Pee in a bottle, boys, or look for somewhere where you can do it safely, because there'll be someone with a camera, and then that'll feed right into the mainstream media's narrative, and it'll be, right-wing yobbos are doing this, And we're not right-wing yobbos, we're just concerned British citizens that have had enough of all the money being taken, and, our roads. I mean, I had a scooter. I used to use my scooter. Yeah, I used to go back to the old days there. I had my old Vespa, and I had to put a picture up of it one day. And I used to wear my parka. And sometimes you'll see me in a parka, my green parka. And I used to get on my scooter, especially around here. I mean, beautiful, lovely roads. No one would bug me. And I used to just ride my scooter. And it really used to really therapeutic. But it got to a stage, right? And this is no lie, right? But as on a scooter, the wheels are very small, right? But it got to a stage where I couldn't take the bike out because of the potholes on the streets, on the roads, right? And this is a fact. And it got to a stage where it was causing me anxiety taking the bike out, that I had to stop doing it. And, unfortunately, that last storm that hit, it lifted the bike up and destroyed it. It literally took off and ended up in the middle of the field. Don't know how it did that either, but it got written off. So that was the end of that. But, I mean, the roads are falling apart. I mean, I've spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds on the car. I mean, I've got my youngest daughter, I've given her the motor so that she's got hers. The eldest girl's got her car. But the amount of potholes, they're driving at 2 miles an hour. Now, we used to have MOTs and that to make sure our cars were safe to be on the road. My big question is, are the roads safe for our cars to be on? I mean, who do we charge for that? Because I'm not being funny, and I know this sounds a little bit like pathetic, but next pothole I hit, I'm getting out with the camera, and whoever council it is, I am going to claim. Right, and I don't care, because it's, I mean, where's all the money going? The infrastructure, the properties. There was a local pool up here. It couldn't stay open for 50 grand, for 50,000, right? And I mean, it was the only swimming pool where the old people, you know, got a bit of warmth, had a cup of tea in the cafeteria, done all their exercises in the water, you know, and it's good for people with anxiety swimming. I mean, it's great. You know, a bit of exercise. As I said, it had a nice little gym in there. But no, luckily I think they had a whip round and local businesses sorted it out. But the bottom line is, but they didn't have £50,000 for that. But they got like £50,000 a minute to spend on illegal immigrants. Now, this illegal immigrants mob, I mean, if someone broke into your house, would you invite them in and say, right, you can stay in the spare room, come and sit down and have dinner on us, right? And you know, just do what you want to do. No, you wouldn't. You'd call the police and you'd have them taken away and dealt with, you know, put into jail. So, I mean, well, that's where I am with that. So, anyway, that's me really for today's little run up. And thank you so much all for listening. But it helps me to clear my mind. And so any of you guys out there that need help or need assistance or something exposing, or talk about your anxieties and all that, you know, just contact us, and you know, I'll hook up with you, or you know, we'll talk, you know what I mean? So please all subscribe, and yeah, I need subscriptions, and if you could all do that, that'd be great. And just to let everyone know, this is about motivation, and we discuss politics, we discuss football. You know, the bigger we get and the more I can interact with you all out there, the more we can do. But we're not no right wing or hate mongering people. We just talk about the facts, and that's it, and nothing more and nothing less, and that's it. So please all follow, and or subscribe. Sorry, I thought I was on my other channel there. Yeah, all subscribe please, and I love you all, and God bless you all, and good health to each and every one of you, and bye bye. Oh no, that's